Okay, so let's get into it, right? Before I get started, I want to let y'all know that this is the type of stuff that I do on secret houses. All right. You can see that the channel is made public, of course, as an attraction model to bring people from all walks of life. That's why I try not to curse as much as I do on my podcast. Because I want people to feel comfortable around here. That's also why people, when you're cursing in your comments, like even if it sounds good, it doesn't get through. So just remember that because sometimes I review it and I'll be like, man, that's a great comment, but this person said this, that, and the third. And the reason why I don't allow the curses and the foul language to get through, forget about what other people say. I ain't even gonna go there. But some of the people that may not take liking to what I have to say, but even if you do, support me at that level, just remember a couple of curse words could get your comment not issued on the channel. And the reason I do that is because I want people to feel comfortable here. I don't want them to feel like they'll be bullied for something that they feel or what they talk about. Also, so that they can come here and express themselves, their opinion, even if they need to see themselves say something out loud for everyone else to see, so they feel better about themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes people just need to vent in a way that they relate to the information and they can just get it out there. And then sometimes, a whole thread of conversation comes from that one comment. So I want my channel to be able to remain being that type of channel. For the most part, though, this type of information is essential. This type of information is hidden for most part. It's a cult. You know what I mean? So it's already a privy thing. You're already privy to some information that's not widely spread. That is not, of course, not even widely accepted yet, right? So to protect my company and my interest or whatever the case may be, a lot of the stuff I keep under wraps, but I still say it. Like I still do it. You know what I mean? It's just that some things are better kept private because you can be attacked for this type of stuff, and I'm not scared or fearful at all. You know what I mean? You see, I got a number of videos now. You know what I mean? I say what I need to say. I guess you could say I'm pretty strategic at how I do it and when I do it, so that you can understand that, okay, I got some stuff to say that is not as closely related as other people's stuff is, because I also compare and parallel the stars to things that's going on possibly today, back then, and potentially in the future, right? So what I mean about getting attacked is I'm just pretty much saying, like, use Alex Jones for example. Not that I have a style as his, but it is an example nonetheless of how your freedom of speech can be used against you, and it's because you're operating on the type of platform that you are. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for my partnership with Google. So, I understand that sometimes algorithms get slowed up for, and I'm not playing victim here. Like, I don't really know why algorithms get slowed up or why certain videos get through and other videos don't. I do know the money sense of it though, and it's like I do know why some advertisers shy away from certain type of content that is produced. And it goes along the line of saying things like, Saturn can help your health, or Saturn could be a detriment to your health. You know what I mean? You have a health industry that has no idea what you're talking about, or doesn't even want to hear what Saturn has to do with health. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like almost, I guess you could say, almost stepping on their toes. Again, this may be an objective thing, you know what I mean? But I still bring it to light here and there. And the more meat and potatoes of subjects such as those is being done under wraps. You know what I mean? Because when you are a private company, as you can see, this is why these factions are able to do that. It's because they're private companies, right? So the same as me, I have a private company. If I want to speak about things in private as much as I want to, as long as you're a member of the club, it's all good. Like, you can't do nothing to us. Like, there's nothing you can do to harm or hurt what it is that we're doing. You know what I mean? But when it's publicly available for all to see, then people, these other private institutions, get the ability, right? Because they all have terms and conditions, rules and regulations. So they get the ability to filter or say what can be said at this level and what maybe needs to be held back or does not get certain type of attention, if you will. And again, I don't know the algorithms. I don't know it exactly. I'm just saying I understand why something like that can occur because I know about business. So moving right along, this video is about Pisces, tips and tricks that can help you, Pisces, get through life. Now, just be clear that you may hear something offensive. You may hear something that is, or you may just love the shit. You know what I mean? Nonetheless, I'm going to say what I need to say and get this out there. I don't care about, advertisements and stuff like that right now. But this is the type of stuff that I do on Secret Houses. So become a patron. You know what I mean? That's another thing. It's challenging and almost not possible for me to do everyone's requests. You know what I mean? Especially if you want like a moon and a sun placement and a Mercury. And it's like, sometimes it could be tedious because one, there might be videos in the playlist already that relate to that. So I might even be doing it twice over again. Two is that, so many, once people see one video like that, it's like a snowball effect. You know what I mean? It just keeps going and it keeps going. And in order for me to maintain what it is that I do around here and, pay the bills and all of those types of things, then I must draw a line somewhere and say, okay, look, if you are that interested, come over here. You know what I mean? Because as a patron, you can request, like patrons are able to request what it is that they want to learn about next or speak or just get information about next. And I do the video according to that. Sort of like what I do on this channel now, but it's just gotten to a point where it's overwhelming. So I had to use some filtering. Okay, so Pisces, let's do it. That's 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes in. I hope I didn't bore you yet. Some of you might have skipped over this part and gotten to whatever time that I put in the description of when this video really starts. Okay, so Pisces. Let's begin in the natal chart. Well, what I will call the natal chart, but it's really the natural essence of the zodiac wheel. It begins in the spring equinox, right? So I'm going to begin talking from the Libra point, okay? Because as the natal, as is naturally put here, right? The wheel is inverted. Like the top of the wheel is really where Cancer is, and the bottom is where Capricorn is. Okay, but as you're looking at it right now, it looks like Capricorn is at the top, right? It's inverted. Keep this in mind too. So we're going to begin at Libra, and the reason why we're going to begin at Libra is because Pisces, you're dark. You're dark, all right? You should know this. And the reason why Pisces, you say is Pisces are great people. Pisces, shed light on the world, and Pisces are, you can see them doing things that shed light on the world. How dare you say such a thing, right? And the reason why you see that type of light is because, and that sense of hope that Pisces people give off is because they're right before Aries. So they are actually passing the baton from the whole cycle of darkness, and really the whole cycle altogether, but definitely from the cycle of darkness that begins to come into the light, right? So when you're birthed, the first thing that comes out is the head, which represents Aries, represents the body part of the head as well. So Pisces, which is the feet, the soul, we'll get to that in a minute, passes the baton to Aries and says, all right, go on to the world. All right, go into shed light, right? And that's the spring equinox. That's when you start seeing the flowers bloom and everything, and everybody loves spring. Oh, nice weather, right? Except for those with allergies and stuff. So I say that to say this. Pisces, don't ignore that but embrace it as well. You know what I mean? People who know Pisces, speaking of Pisces, like it's kind of irrelevant. As long as you know this Pisces, then you don't have to worry about what other people think of you and stuff like that. Although it's kind of challenging not to or to overlook what people think about you and say about you. We'll get to that in a minute as well. But okay, when we're starting with Libra, and I can give you a better description to understand what I'm saying. When you're starting with Libra, right, it deals with relationships, business relationships. So it's the 7th house, Libra, right? So why does it get dark when things get to Libra? Because, the sun shines through Aries and the sun starts to set at Virgo. And then it gets dark when it gets into Libra. Because your relationships, right, are usually something that gets under wraps, right? They be like, oh, who you dating right now? None of your business. Oh, who you fucking right now? Mind your business. How about you mind your business? You know what I mean? Unless you're like in Hollywood or something, and then it's like something to be celebrated because you get more attention and the controversy gets in the air, and you know those types of things make good press. But from a regular stance, people are not so beat on telling you who they're in bed with, right? And again, unless it's like a marriage, right? And then when you get to the eighth house, which is Scorpio, that's life after marriage. So you don't really, you wouldn't go out there and post online what your spouse's financial situation is, right? Oh, this chick just spent all of our savings on boots. This bitch, or you know, this motherfucker went and flipped my whole savings on drugs and said he's gonna bring it back, or whatever the case may be. That motherfucker, right? So the eighth house is something that is kept under wraps. It's dark. It's even more darker because it's the secrets that people hold on one another. They're secrets that are known, right? These are, eighth house are secrets that are facts. Like, oh, I know this about so and so and such. And will you keep this secret? Yes or no? It all depends, right? It depends on a number of factors. But solely, that's what the eighth house is about. Now, ninth house is about higher education. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between the third house education, or even the second house education, right? Second house education is finding about yourself. Third house education is, you know, you take walks to the stores, you talk to your neighbors and stuff like that. You gather the fundamental information of what it takes to survive in your immediate vicinity. You know what I mean? Where's the health store at? Where's the, you know, all that. Where's the hospital at? Stuff like that. How do you don't just speak to people in general on the way to the store, so you get involved with the community. Fifth house is like intermediate education. So it's more of a process of you learn something that may be knowledgeable, and then you apply it to something that you want to do. So you get to that level. But ninth house education can be dark because you can be amongst the elite now. When I'm talking about college education, I'm talking about scholars. And you may just have a plan to downsize population and just to keep the people for the sake of humanity, like true humanity, not like zombies and the you know, people who just really get on your nerves when they're here. Like, they don't even know why they're here. They're just here to get on your nerves. So you may have some plot to like downsize population because of that, because they're like scum of the earth and they just really don't even want to live. So that's ninth house education. And then you travel, right? So you may leave your community. Like, I don't like y'all. I don't like my neighbors, or for whatever reason, it's boring here now. You guys bore me, or, you know, you let everybody take over the community. You don't care, or you let government take over it. You're suckers. I'm out to a foreign land where they can really use me, right? So that also is ninth house stuff. Right? You leave, and you might even start an import-export, right? And don't even care about the people in your community no more. Just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna ship my stuff, my goods, and my services to Morocco, and Morocco in turn is going to send me fish. So now we're eating fish all the way from Morocco instead of eating fish from Long Island. So then we get to the 10th house, right? And for those of people who just hate my Capricorn video, so be it. But Capricorn is the coldest place inside of the Zodiac wheel, and it's the winter solstice that occurs when it's in Capricorn, all right? So again, as I said, ice, just ice cold, just blank sheet of ice, Capricorn, right? Doesn't really give zero fucks about you, anything. They care about their status, their recognition, who is running shit. I want to be next to who's running shit if I'm not running shit. And that's what makes the world go around. You know, I'll take care of the kids based upon who's running shit. You know, I'll get involved, I'll get the money, and then I'll take care of kids. I don't need a family. A family's cool, a family's nice to Capricorn, but I don't need it. Because when it comes to this money and recognition and status, I'll have it. Capricorn, if I told some of your secrets, just don't worry, you know, don't be mad with me. But I'm just using this as an example, a clear-cut example of how the Zodiac thing goes, how the wheel goes. 11th house is Aquarius. So Aquarius says, okay, so because when you look at Capricorn, it's like medieval castles and like lords of the land, landlords, like in the fucking castle in the dark with fucking lamps made out of whale oil, and they're like all of their concubines and sleeping with many whores, right? And then Aquarius sees all of this shit and they're like, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, look how dark and dingy this shit is. Like, it's grungy. Like, it's just horrible. Like, we need to shed some light on this situation, right? Like, we need to invent something, right? This is where Aquarius comes in. This is where the genius intellect comes in. This is where Uranus gives the spark, right? We got to make cars. These horses, I mean, come on, it smells like horse shit everywhere. We got to do something. The women are starting to sleep with the horses. We have to do something. So you come up with these cars and stuff, and you come up with the industrial, what do they call that? The industrial period, the industrial era, right? Printing presses, cotton gins, and stuff like that. And you bring these people out of the darkness, you bring them in the light, and you also create, you take the whole kingdom structure, if you will, from Capricorn, and you say, well, we're going to make this look like aristocrat style. We're going to give this style now. You know, we're going to have people from all over want to network and group to. Like, this is how we're going to put people in lumps and figure out who's who, which I'm about to get to in a second. And then you get the Pisces. So Pisces, now gather this, right? I did not even mention from Aries to Virgo, but Pisces is the sum of all parts. Pisces has been and seen everything from Aries to it. Pisces represents the endings, the subconscious mind, confidential information, secret agendas, secret enemies, prisons, hospitals, surrender, so many things, but those are the primary things, right? So it's the 12th house, it's the last house, it's the endings, right? So Pisces, let's begin with subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind represents that part of the mind which is the majority of the mind that is always running in the background. Very little of percentage of your brain is conscious, and you can do your best to concentrate to make your brain conscious, right? Now keep in mind that the word conscious, concentrate, is relative to the sun. It's a sun attribute, okay? And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because you should know the difference between the sun and the moon right now. The sun is relative to your soul. Soul, see, notice the word soul and the word solar are very similar. Okay, so your solar system deals with the central nervous system, all right, which deals with your spine. So fluid travels up your spine, and it's called, that's where the kundalini juice is, if you will, all right? So it's almost like having two brains. You got one at the base of your spine, and you got one that's at the top of your head. Some people like to use the one at the bottom of their spine more than they use the one at the top of their head. If you're one of those people, so be it. You know, I'm not, again, I told you I'm going to say some stuff here. It's not my job to care if I offend anyone right now. I got to get the message across. So, that's what the soul represents. Okay, now the sun characteristics are fun, creativity, taking risks, likes, dislikes, and children. So again, the spinal fluid, right, will produce a child. Not only that, the characteristics are coded by DNA. So it's like this. Think of the solar or the sun as a computer chip that is already downloaded with information already inside of it. But this computer chip has no computer. It has no mainframe. It has no shell. It's just a chip. So think about this like in a matrix term. Let's say you're this programmer and you just sit inside of a room all day and you think of how you're going to create things. This is your life, right? So you want to create a person that likes harmony, that likes spirituality, that likes to isolate, that likes to imagine, use imagination. Another thing that is ruled by Pisces. The glamour world is ruled by the 12th house, right? Imagination is ruled by the 12th house because that's the subconscious mind. You sit there, you daydream, and you're like, oh, I'm going to come up with this. So this programmer says, okay, I like all of these things, and I dislike turbulence. I dislike injustices. I dislike people who act abruptly. I dislike anyone who infiltrates or tries to disturb my well-being. I dislike anyone who tries to tell me what to do with my life, excuse me. Right? So this is what this programmer is programming inside of this chip that is known as your spine. So now this spine needs a shell. All right? So at the top of this computer chip, this programmer puts a prominent part of the soul on top of it, which is comprised of 85% water. And in order for the veins in the shell to grow around this computer chip, it needs water. It also needs blood. And the blood makes what? The heart pump, right? So the heart makes the veins and the capillaries and the tissues, the muscles form over the spine, creating a shell, a body, a human shell for this computer chip to be active inside of. All right. Now, in order for this thing to go and get the kicking, it needs a spark. So you understand why Aquarius is so close to Pisces and why their relationship is important in the astrological process of things. Because people may say, oh, you shed light on situations. That's all the sun. That's all the sun. No, really, it's Uranus, a slept-on planet, depending on how you study. But in the immediate circles of people who just talk about astrology, Uranus is a slept-on planet. It's not really known about. It's not really talked about as much as the rest of the planets. But you think about this, right? When light, which is given off from the sun, is seen by the eyes, there's optical nerves that have electrical circuits that translate the information, because as soon as you see something, it's really upside down. Remember this whole inverted talk that I began talking about before? The information that you see right now is actually upside down. But once it hits the eyes and it goes through to the retina, the nerves translate the information and turn it right side up, excuse me. And that's how you receive the information. All right, but that's done through electricity, which is a Uranus construct. All right. And the sparks that travel through your veins, think of them as wiring. Now, I know this may sound kind of off, because water, you would think if you pour water on something that is electric, it will be shocking to you. Well, this has like a two ways you can look at it. Sure, it can be shocking to you, but not to the point where it will destroy you. In your human anatomy, it actually benefits you, because the body is comprised of 75% water. So the more water you add onto your body, the better it is able to function. Okay, so with that being said, the heart gives off more vibration than the sun does, about 1,000 times more at that. So if you notice, I use music. I spoke about music before. Well, no, that was in Secret Houses. Music, when the vibration expands, you get swaths of people who correspond with that music, and they do what? They dance. They go as far as to pack the club on the same night to listen to the same music that is on rotation day after day after day after day. So when they get there, they all know the songs. They all know the dances, right? All in unison. It's different from like a military type, which is a construct of the brain. But again, it's more powerful as far as magnetism goes. So this shock, again, on a positive, productive note, this shock can be just the water giving you more mental clarity on how to process information and make decisions with the brain, which is a mercurial construct. And with the dehydration, with the absence of water, you will struggle to utilize your brain to the point where you don't get enough shock to be optimal, to function optimally, and to think optimally, right? And say, oh no, this is going to be fine. I may be in this situation right now, at this circumstance, but that's because I'm able to come up with a solution. This is why I have an issue. And this is like the beauty of being where I am right now, right? Some people don't see it that way. They see things as things are like this because of oppression, or this group of people, this type of people, and this is just how life is. Life sucks. I won't ever be this. I won't ever be that. I won't ever be this. It comes from dehydration and not channeling water in their body the way that they should or could have the ability to, right? So people going through the Detroit situation, and those of you who are like pointing fingers and like not doing nothing about it, you're pussies. Like, just think about it. You know what I'm saying? Water. Out of everything, you guys can't get together and make water essential and make water happen. You should, myself included. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring this to light. Like, I have this wrapped up right now. That's why I love, if I say something fucked up, I got a solution for it. This is kind of wrapped up right now because I have like positive affirmations written on it when I drink my water. But this is definitely filtered. This thing costs about $100, almost $200, right? So that just goes to show you how serious I am about what I'm saying. I take action on it. I'm only one person, but me pulling up this thermos, this is designed by Tyant, by the way. This is designed by Tyant. Look it up. They even provide sinks that you can install inside of your apartment. The reason why I don't have the sink is because my sink is not tall enough to install their sink. I would have the sink. That's around almost $2,000, but I would have it because that's how much I care about water. And just to make this reference real quick, like I have an Aquarius people, sometimes I tell them about this type of stuff and they be like, how you know if you tested the alkaline that they just not making it up to turn some color when you do this, that, and the third? Like, listen, there's chemists, alchemy's been around for a while. People are not just going to do that. They're not going to sell you some filter that says, look, drop this fluid in here and if it turns this color, then your water is not alkaline and all of that. Like, people are not going to do that. So even Aquarius is like, come on. Okay, that's a different video. I'm going to digress. This is not an Aquarius video. All right, but you see my point though, right? Filter your water because it's that important. It takes the metals out. It takes, it does well for your body because you are already aware of what is going on. You know what I mean? So take necessary steps to provide the nutrient, the number one nutrient for your body. You understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so I got my notes right here. Bear with me. Okay, so yeah, I said the sun. I said what the moon is represented. And, okay, now even more importantly about the water part of this, right, is it supports the subconscious mind heavily. So as you notice, if you study the moon deals with the mind and it deals with the subconscious mind. All right. So have you ever met a Pisces moon? Oh my God. They are like the most spiritual. They are overflowing with spirituality. It's like an ocean full of it. It's like here, like they will pour it on you. You understand what I'm talking about? This is what I mean about Pisces. The subconscious mind is so powerful in a Pisces that daydreaming is a pastime that is beneficial to the Pisces. Watching movies is a pastime that is beneficial to the Pisces well-being. So Pisces, you may say, some people don't like you, Pisces. Some people do not like you. Just for that simple fact. You gonna binge watch movies all day? Don't you got a job? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is another reason why Pisces isolate. They stay in private. They don't let people know all of their business because it's like they know you're gonna judge them based on cogs in the machine. And I'm gonna get to that in a second. I just want to also say that Pisces represents the lymph nodes, right? So the lymph nodes are like the plasmas and the blood plasma that takes the nutrients. And now, mind you, water helps the nutrients travel through your body, right? But the blood, the lymph nodes takes those nutrients and, identifies what they are, proteins, this, that, and the third, and it sends it to the necessary organs in the body, which, send them where they need to go for you to maintain health or maintain function in this human shell that you have, right? So keep that in mind as well. Now also keep this in mind, right? This is the huge mystery. The huge mystery is about Pisces and why Pisces don't ever want to be figured out, and really why Pisces themselves can't figure themselves out fully all of the time. So when people say to you Pisces, or say about you Pisces, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know what they're doing here. You know what I mean? It's because of those foggy moments, Pisces, that you get, where it's like, oh, you gotta dig into the subconscious mind to figure out what's next. You may have to relate to a dream that you had to figure out what's next. You may have to read riddles to figure out what's next. Like a Pisces mind, again, mind represents moon, moon represents memory. Pisces have selective memories. So it's not that they forget things, it's just that they remember the things that they need to remember. So when it's time to dig in the vault to get it, they snatch it and they use it. Everything else is not relevant to them, right? This is kind of how Pisces develop their plans as well. So this mystery, right, is because when you think about it in the bigger scheme of things, right, it takes a human fetus 9 months to form and develop, right? So you count it as far as zodiacal signs, because back in the days, the months were calculated by the moon, right? 27 days in each month, and there were 13 months, not 12. So, but I digressed a bit, just a little bit, but that's a great hint for you to know where I'm going with this. Now, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, etc., that's first month, second month, third month, all the way into Sagittarius, right? And then that's the 9th month. That's the 9th sign, rather, right? And that's where you reach this higher spiritual calling for life. So all of the mundane or potentially mundane things that you've been through from house sign 1 through 9, it's like, okay, that's beneath me now. Now I'm ready to take it to a place that we don't even know where this takes you, right? Because you're exploring. Sagittarius is the sign of travel, adventure. We're going on an adventure. We know all that stuff already. That stuff is just like, it bores me now. I want to go into what is unknown, because it's not 12 months when the human body is formed, right? It's 12 months in a year, but it doesn't take 12 months for a human to develop. So notice when you get here, right, it says sell your soul. Pisces represents the soles of your feet. You have soles on your feet, right? So they take the baby, as soon as it comes out, take prints of the feet. What that means is you're sold. You are now a cog in the machine, right? And Pisces rule the feet. So that problem with authority that Pisces has, you can't tell me what to do. So the structure, the Capricornian structure says, well, that's what you're doing here. I don't know if your parents told you this. You know what? I don't even know if your parents are smart enough to tell you this. Maybe your parents didn't even know that they were cogs in the machine too. And I'm probably the one telling you this now. Nobody's probably going to tell you this. Few people here and there, though. You do see your people popping up and talking about stuff like this. But I'm telling you, that Capricornian structure, that sea goat that also came from the water where we dwell, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, came up and said, I'm going to come from the sea and come on land and climb to the highest mountain and show everybody what this is about. But this is the opposite of family, right? This opposes family. So again, the Capricornian structure says, oh, your parents didn't tell you what you're doing here? Your parents didn't tell you you're a cog in the machine? No, you work for me, buddy. You work with me in some type of way? No, you are with me. And then you figure that out at home, right? What do some people want to do? They want to get away from home. They want to run away from home. I can't stand it here. You don't let me do what I want to do. I can't wait till I get my own apartment. I can't wait till I have my own job and my own money, right? And you run as far and as fast as you can away from your family and your parents. Some situations, some people are very close to their family and their parents and stuff like that. And some people struggle to understand, well, why do we have it so hard? Why do I struggle every day? What is it that we don't know? But some people just go with the flow, right? They accept being a cog in the machine. And Pisces, again, this is why people don't like you. Because some of you Pisces, you figure it out. And you're like, no one's going to fucking tell me what to do. Fuck that. You know, and then you might show up at work and then, you know, the supervisor tells you, hey, look, when you get a chance to do this, and the third, Pisces might be, this is an example, Pisces might be like, oh, well, I did it like this and I did it like that because the other way that it was done it wasn't as efficient as it is now. So Pisces will show you how they did it and what they did, everything in that little small bruised ego. You know, that ego gets bruised because it's a supervisor, right? And says, I don't really care how you did it. I told you to do it a certain way. You're supposed to do it the way I told you. Pisces might be like, but look, I'm putting you on a game. Like, I'm showing you. You could even take it and show the rest of the crew. Like, but I'm showing you how it's done better. I don't care. It might write you up. Or if it doesn't get to that level, they may go around and tell people about your business. Guess what this Pisces motherfucker just had the nerve to tell me? And I'm the supervisor. Right now, all of a sudden, people look at you weird and they don't like you. Now, some bosses, some managers, they'll eat that up and say, oh, that's great. Keep this motherfucker around. You know what I'm saying? Other egos will get bruised because they have a title in the hierarchical system, the Capricornian structure, that says, okay, we got to get rid of him or her. They don't want to listen. They want to be the boss, and we can't have that. If everybody else catches on to what this person is doing, then da-da-da-da, right? So what happens? Pisces might get fired, right? Might get fired. Say, oh, damn. So now people are laughing at you. Pisces, they don't like you. Now they found a way to laugh at you. Ah, look at this Pisces. He's unemployed again. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do now? You're gonna get a subsidy? You're going to go get a public assistance? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, you sucker. You thought you was all of that, right? But they're laughing at a fish in a cog that when people are taught to climb trees, right? They're like, look at this fish. He can't climb trees with us. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Pisces, you may have experienced these types of scenarios that I'm mentioning, and you already gotten past that. So this is why I'm presenting tips and tricks, but I'm just drawing up scenarios so you can understand why these types of things happen sometimes. Now, look, this is not a terrible thing when you have understanding and wisdom, which are great qualities of a Pisces, right? Understand that there's an upside to this, especially if you get into business, is that you have your fixed signs. You have your fixed energies. So there's always going to be cogs in the machine to that extent, to that level, right? You may know some of your fixed friends that as long as they got a check there, and I'm not saying that they lame, you know, they might even question, well, how much does it pay? You know, and they may say, well, can I get back to you on it? They may do the math. Okay, well, I could make this much, I could pay this much for that, I could spend this much on rent, I could save this much, I could spend this much on whatever else, I could take care of the kids with this, and then they say, okay, I'll take the job. You know what I mean? As long as they know they have that guaranteed fixed income, they're with it. And if you try to get in their way, they may do things relentless to prevent you from getting in their way because that fixed money is there and they're not going to let anyone stop them from messing that up. Sound like any fixed signs, you know? Okay, but that does not necessarily mean, Pisces, that they're going to look at you and your mutable style of doing things and be okay with it and love you for it. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people love Pisces. You understand what I'm saying? But they get it, though, the people that understand and love Pisces. And this doesn't mean that all Pisces can't hold a job either. Like, if you got Sun in the 6th house, you can work 16-hour shifts and just keep it pushing. Like, you know what I mean? If you got Saturn somewhere strong in your chart, you may also have work ethic that is out of this world. Saturn in the 6th house, for example. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that there are Pisces that don't work as well. But again, even if, let's say you got a Pisces with a Saturn in the 6th house and they work extremely, right? People may still look at them like, let's say they do it for themselves. They're self-employed. They might make 23 cents the whole week. People may look at them like, oh, you don't work? You don't work? Pisces may be like, well, I do work. I actually work all damn day. Like, designing my business, I work for myself, so it's tough. You know what I'm saying? I can't, I don't have the fixed income that you have from an employer. And they be like, well, man, you need to get a job. It's like, how do you talk to these people after this, right? So another reason why Pisces isolate. It's like, I can't even talk to these people. Get me away from these people. You understand what I'm talking about? Why I can't be around these people. They just don't get it. They're so fixed and narrow-minded. I need different friends. All right? So, again, cogs in the machine, right? Cogs in the machine. Now, back to the mystery. It's Capricornian structure, right? Now, the 11th house deals with networks and people who gather together to bring your dreams into fruition. So the whole mystery is, okay, the human will be brought into this world as a cog in a machine, will go through channels 1 through 9. If they reach a calling that says, I need something beyond this mundane bullshit that I already know, that has been repetitive, also a construct of the moon and the mind, I need something new. I need a breath of fresh air. I need that new shit. I need adventure. If they reach that point, now the mystery is Capricorn. What will you be known for? What will you be? How will they know your name? right? This is something that is not completely determined when you get your natal chart, because who knows if you're going to go to lengths to become the person that you potentially can be. You may stop. You may not get to that ninth house level. You may stop at the eighth house, which is significant other. You know, some people stay together 70 years. Yeah, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? You've seen the stories. So it's like, oh, y'all stood together that long? Y'all didn't reach a higher calling? And some of them even reached a higher calling, because how could you be 70 years with a motherfucker and not go to church? Like, you had to have some type of fucking aid to pull that shit off. But anyway, the 10th house, again, it's an unknown construct. It's a real cog in the machine element. Is this person, is this human going to get to this point where they are recognized to a point that their status is so high that they can actually buy themselves back? They can buy their soul back. So that's for people who know hip hop music. So if you hear like rappers who want to get their own, they want their masters, they want to own their masters. Sometimes the deals that they enter into in the beginning, they don't have that ability. You know what I'm saying? It's not until when they generate enough revenue for themselves that they go back to the companies and they say, look, I want to buy my catalog, you know? And they buy their soul back, right? So selling your soul is essentially mandatory in a lot of times. Especially today when the United States of America is not sovereign, all right? So 11th house is the networks and the groups of people that are going to help you get there. Now, this might not be family. So for all of you who out there who know, you may have not reached the epitome of what you can be because you keep going, resulting back to your family. FOE, family over everything. I don't care. You know, it's family this, it's family that. As long as I go to work, take care of my family, everything is fine. But you may suffer in conversation, especially with a Pisces. You may go have a couple of drinks and then you're just sitting there and Pisces realizes how miserable you are, because we're healers by nature and we're just listening to you. You know, we listen very well and we're like, damn, this person is fucked up. They might even say it to you out of care and concern, like, you're damaged, bro, sis. Like, the fuck is up? You know, you make 75 grand a week, but you're fucking fucked up, man. You probably may need some help. You know what I'm saying? So, again, cog in a machine, don't want to break their relationships that may be toxic for them. Don't want to take that extra length or that extra course or whatever it is that'll catapult them to another level. And they say, what? It's a construct of the devil. So the Capricorn is the goat. You know, you turn the 5-point star upside down, inverted. Remember what I said about inverted? And then they say that's the devil. It's really relative to Saturn. And notice the word Saturn sounds like Satan. Okay? And what is the ruler of Saturn? It rules over Capricorn. Pay attention. And Capricorn, the energy, loves children, right? So their thing is, let's make more cogs in the machine. So, for instance, this is a scenario. We target a population where their government likes to fork over a whole lot of the tax revenues to the unfortunate. So what? They don't pull themselves up out of bootstraps and live the American dream. It doesn't matter. You know, the taxpayers will finance them. So they make breeders. They don't have to be intelligent. It doesn't care. We don't care. You know, somebody has to run the register at Walmart, and we're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So let's make some fucking cogs in the machine. Put some breeders in the United States of America, right? Or let the immigrants come to the United States of America illegally. They'll breed cogs in the machine, right? Somebody's got to, like, wash my fucking silverware. Again, Capricorn, right? So again, 11th house deals with the networks that help you get to these higher levels, if you will. These unknown, these mysterious levels, if you will, as well. So those of you who achieve that type of success, you may depart from family a lot. You may not be in contact with your family members that much. And then you may realize that, you know what, there's levels to this. And if I want to go all the way to see what's in that 12th house, the discoveries, 12th house rules discoveries. If I want to discover things that are new, even if it's just mere experience, then I got to keep going this way. Right? And so then you get to the 12th house, and you use all of the inventions, the psychic energy that's also attached to Aquarius and Uranus, And then you get to the 12th house, which is just full of psychic energy because it deals with heavy water, right? So again, Pisces could have prophetic dreams on a constant and not really know what to do with them or feel confused a lot, right? You get that from Mercury. Oh, Pisces are crazy. Put them in a crazy hospital. They're crazy. They don't know what they do. You hear them talk sometimes, they're crazy. And it's because it's choppy. It's not so organized as a Capricorn wants. But Capricorn structure knows this, and they appreciate it, Pisces, if you accept who you are and embrace who you are. But you can't pay attention to all of these other motherfuckers that are saying, look at this fish who can't climb trees. You can't pay attention to these motherfuckers who are talking shit about you. You just got to continue to be you, a creative person with vision. Okay? Now, that's the whole mystery. Like, the 12th house is the ending of things. So if they say, like, okay, Pisces are lazy, they don't want to work. You could take 3 years, and I know some Pisces that build up savings and then dip off and do well and live off their savings. They will get out of the work market, out of the workforce, and go live off their savings and build what it is that they want to build. So you may take 3 years making a movie script, for example, right? And in this movie script, Pisces, you take all of the information that is learned from Aries all the way up to you, and you shape it and you mold it, because water is formless, right? So you may have a plethora of subconscious data that you can jot down, but if it doesn't have a form, some type of structure to package, you can't put it out, right? So you can use this to bring forth to the people in the glamour world who just love to watch movies, who love to Netflix and binge watch their favorite shows and stuff, right? This is your element. This is more along the lines where you should be. I'm not saying every Pisces is going to do film. However, you should be creating something. You know what I mean? And if you got to drop off of the radar in order to do it, so be it. So be it. It's not so much about people, hey, you don't come see us no more. Well, you don't come see me no more. Always use that card. Have you been over here? Have you sat and ate with me? No, I always got to go see you because I'm ruled by the feet. I rule the feet. And yes, Pisces, you will struggle because your feet will want to move. But guess what? You can't really move the way you want to move because you're also a cog in the machine. And until you have the type of freedom that it takes to move around in that machine, you must build, you must create, you must form what it is that will provide you the material assets that allows you and enables you to move at the rate that you want to move with no one telling you what to do. Which brings me to this part, the solar chart. So you see here, I got the solar chart up there, right? This is in green. Which brings me to this part, because the first house deals with you, of course, Pisces. That's where the sun is. Every day in the solar chart, right? So this is you we're talking about right now. This is us, right? The second house is Aries. Okay, every day for you. The second house is the house of materialistic attitude. The second house deals with the five senses. So here you are, this sixth sense individual who knows and believes what you know from the other world. It's not even here, right? And you got to come into this world which largely deals with the Taurian types of things, which deals with the five senses. Oh, I like how this texture feels. It makes me feel randy. So I'm going to touch it a lot because I like it, right? And I want more of it too. How can I get more? Oh, I need money. It costs money. How much does it cost? Oh, it does cost that much, really. Well, I'm going to do something to get that money. It's just a fixed sign, right? How much is the paycheck? How much are you going to pay me every week, every 2 weeks? Oh, and it comes with bonuses? Whose throat I got to cut? Really? You know? Cheaper wage labor in China? Let's go. How much is the flight? Really? Are we going to do a greenhouse, or are we going to do an MNC subsidiary? How are we going to do it? I want the money. I want to buy more of the stuff that makes me feel good. And this is how you develop your own personal attitude of the things that you like in this world. Now, Pisces, you may be like, fuck this. I don't care about none of this shit. You know what I mean? But you got to play a game. Because if you want to not be the cog in the machine that you believe you are not, you believe you're sovereign by right, by birthright, you want your feet back, you want your soul back, you may have to tap into this machine. Because without it, right now, check this out, you can live a sovereign life. And what I mean by sovereign is, person across the street's got potatoes, you got peas, You holler at the person across the, hey, you got any more of them potatoes? Yeah, you got some more of them peas? Yeah, let's swap. Barter, right? Okay. That is sovereignty. You have the right of the land, the right of your neighbor to trade goods evenly, so according to what your value level is, right? However, when this whole monetary system comes in and people say, oh, like your government say, oh, we need to help this amount of people with this, that, and the third, or how they are unfortunate in life, this, that, and the third, which is not a terrible thing. But when your government is so large that you no longer have sovereignty anymore, to where you are paying off debt by birthing and breeding more humans into this world, which are traded as commodities, you no longer are sovereign. So all you people out there who think that you're free and all that shit, cut it out. Stop it. Newsflash. You're a fucking cog in a machine. Myself included, I'm working right now. So cut the bullshit about you're better than that one. All right. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. All right. Told you I would say some shit. So, second house, materialistic attitude. It also deals with plan of action. And guess what? Pisces, you just happen to luck up and have Aries in your second house. Aries has no plan. Don't argue with me. Also, Aries, told you Aries out there, Pisces is your best lover. Your most sought after lover, and it's because they are the ending of things. They have all of this information that is unseen that deals with later on in life, afterlife, also things that rule the 12th house. That Aries is darting out there to get, bumping and bruising and scraping their knees, picking himself back up, making the same mistakes, having regrets in life, everything to obtain the materialistic attitude, which is kind of like known as the American dream, right? And Pisces, if you're smart enough, you can obtain these things with ease of flow. And then your Aries lover will run right into you. Like, oh, where you been all my life? How'd you get this house? What is it that you do? All right, I don't want to digress too far, but here it is, right? Pisces, you still got to go through some stuff because Aries is your second house. So although, this is the key though, Aries rules the head. So if you got the second house, which also represents the plan of action, you must put a plan of action inside of your head, Pisces, and you got to stick to it a lot. Now, it's challenging because you're a mutable sign. All right? And this is why I tell you, it may be better to isolate. It may be better to drop off the radar. It may be better to go get public assistance and any type of subsidy that is handed to you. And this is what I'm saying. This is where government works, right? Because if the government says, look, we got fishes that are being judged as tree climbers. You know, we got to fix this. They keep getting fired. They keep getting let go of. They keep quitting. This is not for them. So let's build a place where there's refuge for them so they can figure out whatever it is that they're here to do. We don't even fucking know. Let the astrologers tell these motherfuckers what to do. We don't know. They're crazy. But they can't fucking come into this corporate structure here because I need this motherfucker to do what I tell them to do and they're not doing it. Or they want to come up with their own way of doing it and that's not how it fucking works over here. So this is, you see how government can work? But again, sovereignty is a huge issue that makes this thing looked at as, okay, well, who is this benefiting? You know, are you finding out if the immigrants are Pisces or mutable signs? And that's why you're fucking giving them aid? Or you're just saying, oh, well, we need more babies and we need more drug dealers and drug users. So I don't give a fuck if they're Capricorns. Let them in the country. Or let's get these Capricorns in the same room so they can fuck and make more babies and stuff, right? So, again, that's the key, having a plan of action inside of your head because Aries rules the head, right? Now, remember, Aries naturally has no plan. They just dart out and they fucking go. They look back and they say, oh, well, yeah, that was a fucking wild one, right? And they go right back out and they dart out again. It's no plan. So you give that Aries energy a plan of action and guess what? Guess what happens? The Aries is the leader. the leader, right? So again, remember what I said about the 12th house. Naturally, you pass the baton to the Aries. So you have to pass the baton yourself in a solar chart to yourself, but as Aries in the second house. Now you're utilizing your five senses. I want to touch, I want to taste this. I want the freedom to roam, to move my feet. I want my souls back, right? So what, it takes a fucking a plane ticket to go over here and do what I need to do over here? Then I'm going to do that, right? Because the 12th house also rules foreign lands. So again, you may be distraught, Pisces. You may be bogged down by this United States of America bullshit going on. If you're participating in the bullshit, there's still great things about this place. But you may be bogged down by that and be like, man, I just want to get the fuck out of here. Get that plane ticket and go, because there is treasure for you over there where you plan on going. You just got to go. You see what I'm talking about? So again, now let me give you this reference, right? You may have heard biblical texts that'll tell you, oh yeah, don't worry about what you eat when you go to people's house. Just eat whatever they serve you and spread the word, right? And it's like, remember what I told you about water, the importance of water, the importance of the lymph nodes that sends nutrients to your body to sustain health. Now, Pisces, this is what the astrologers want to say about you sometimes too, right? That weak-willed Pisces, they're followers. They don't make decisions on their own, right? And this is what they say. Oh, so Pisces, if you take this rhetoric and literally go to people's houses and they're like, oh yeah, sit down, have a seat. I'm gonna make you some Kool-Aid, and it's like 26 cups of sugar in that Kool-Aid. You're like, oh yeah, here, have this. Oh yeah, have more Kool-Aid. You're gonna stay a while. I'm making pork chops. Stay a while, right? And then you're like, now you're slaughtering whole animals and you're putting them inside your body, and your teeth aren't even designed to chew meat, right? And then you're getting this whole prostate thing going on right now because a whole animal is being digested in your human body, right? And I don't give a fuck about animal lovers who, eat meaters who are offended by this shit. I don't even give a fuck, right? But you follow these texts that you've heard, and then the next thing you know, you're sick. And they're like, oh, but you spread the word. You did the deed that you were supposed to be. You see, Pisces, how you can be led astray and brought out of your element? That's not who the fuck you are. So don't let these astrologers say this shit about you, all right? But also act on this shit that I'm telling you so they can't say this shit about you. You know what I'm saying? No, I won't eat or drink or whatever people are offering me in the house. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm put in a scenario or a situation where I'm forced to eat the king's crumbs from the table, so be it. But I'm going to fucking come up from this. You will eat what you supposed to eat again, Pisces. You're going to make it through. Now, the reason I bring that up as well is because Aries is the god of war, right? So remember, natally, it's like you pass the baton out to the Aries and say, go, right? Now, what happens when you send a soldier out in the war with no plan of action? You're setting them up for failure. And Aries is a bad motherfucker. Aries will make it all the way through, but they may have all types of gunshots and stab wounds in the end and be like, damn, man, you couldn't tell me some shit that was happening. Pisces, you knew what the fuck was going to happen. You couldn't tell me about that shit. So, again, with endings, if you look at it's a cycle, right? So when it gets to Pisces, you may say, oh, it's an end of life. No, it just makes everything seem good. You make a story, you put an ending to it, right? And you're like, that ending was great. Like, oh, man, what a way to end the book. And what a way to end the story. You know what I mean? But it goes on. So, again, if you think about the whole cogs and the machine thing, the whole Capricorn thing, sometimes they look at it like, it's just another human. Did they make a son? Oh, they got a daughter too? 2 daughters. Okay, great. Well, we don't really give a fuck when this person gets old and die. They're old and die. We got their offspring, They can come back through the DNA coding. Evolutionary psychology suggests that the DNA coding will bring back the likes, dislikes, fun, leisure, all of that in another body, maybe in another shell, and it may be in a different sign this time, though. Here nor there. And if you study astrology charts closely, you'll see that you may have a moon that is your mother, the sign of your mother. You may have a father in the sign of your father in the 4th house or in the 10th house. Check these things out. This suggests reincarnation, the recycling. But again, if you think about it from the Capricorn's perspective, it's like cogs in a machine. I don't give a fuck if you want to live to be 150 and healthy. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Again, so Pisces, if you coming in people's houses and Aquarius told you, like Aquarius nudged you with the knowledge, right? I don't know what the fuck is going on with Aquarius is today, right now, but anyway. But if Aquarius does nudge you and be like, yo, man, did you see that shit? They got paint thinner and cereal? And you a Pisces and you believe everything that you hear, and you're like, oh, yeah, come on, have some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I got boxes. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, give me a box. Pour it on. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Give it to me. And you're just sitting there eating paint thinner. Then what the fuck? You a sucker. Like, you are a sucker. This is for all of you who are eating that shit. You're fucking suckers. Fast food and all that shit. You're suckers. Oh, but I need something real quick. It's not going to kill me. Oh, I'm going to die from something anyway. Stay away from me. Stay away from people like me. All right? Get the fuck over there with the cog and the machine people. Just get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so the materialistic attitude that deals with the second house. Okay, God of War is where I was at, right? So they may tell you also in spiritual text, but they will mention it's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war. And you'll be like, oh, it's a spiritual war, huh? So why the fuck do all of these people have these suits on with these guns, and what the fuck is that about? Like, how does that mean they're not spiritual? Possibly, potentially, but then you'll see your soldiers, right, that grab their emblems, their icons, they kiss it, they do whatever they need to do, right? Then they go over and they clutch their pistol and like, oh, you eat it all up in Hollywood. They're like, right? But this shit happens in real life sometimes. Alleged, so they say. You know, I haven't been in war like that to know myself. But you may say, well, damn, okay, it's a spiritual war, but what for? It's for your soul, right? It's for your soul. So now knowing this, what are you going to do, Pisces? Again, you have when you get the plan of action, and this is what, if you can look at my whole Virgo Moon Pisces Sun video to think about this even more, because Virgo is organization and analytics, right? So when you program your brain with this plan of action, Pisces, you are the most powerful entity. Listen, because Pisces also, the 12th house also rules, when we mention endings, it's also relative to the packaging of a project, the completion of a project. So you may have heard astrologers also talk crazy about you, Pisces, and say, oh, they start things and they don't finish them. Don't be one of those Pisces, because Pisces 12th house represents endings, represents packaging and distribution. 12th house rules sales, right? So when you pass that baton off to the Aries element in your solar chart, it is already for sale. It is ready for sale. Pisces, you are naturally a salesperson. So the reason why people are allowed to talk shit about you like this is because, one, you may not be the distributor. You may be still out there climbing fucking trees. And you can't climb trees. You probably can, but I'm just saying, you understand what I'm saying. You get the analogy of what I'm saying. You're probably still out there trying to do what all of the rest of these motherfuckers are doing, just for the sake of being social, just for the sake of looking societal, just for the sake of escaping loneliness sometimes, just for the sake of feeling a feeling of being free, having your soul back, until you realize you only have enough money to make it to and from work, eat for the month, pay bills for the month, pay rent for the month, and then you're broke. This is because you have not gotten to the ninth house point to say, fuck this, I need more. You haven't taken that Sagittarius attitude that says, fuck this, I don't care if I strike out, if this is reckless, it may seem to you, I got an optimistic attitude. This shit has got to work for me because I need more. I'm not going to be subject to this shit for the rest of my life, right? And then you may see your friends, your family struggle in the cog. That's a cog in the machine. And say, oh, I'm getting OT, I'm getting overtime hours, I'm getting overtime hours of security, I'm getting overtime hours at the burger joint. It's just like, all right, well, fuck out of here. Stay away from me. Don't lose my number. Don't call me anymore, right? Some people can get cold like that, but man, fuck, man. What are you gonna do? Say, oh, I need to struggle with my friends. Fuck this. I'll take that security job. Oh, you're not going to. And I know you might be saying, oh, look at all these college students who are unemployed. So what? Because when you think about the soul, right, the mind, now we're talking about the brain, the sun, which is more stern, focused, and concentrated. And keep this in mind, water filters concentration. So all of the distractions that take you away, Venus might take you away, Pisces, because Venus is exalted inside of the sign of Pisces. So when you get your paychecks, you feel all good. You go out to the joint, you go out to the bar and everything. You know, the chicks are there. You bring a couple of chicks home, you bang them, and you're spending money, and everything is all good. But when that Pisces battery is drained and ran out, and then you get fired for being a fucking leader, as your second house in Aries suggests, you're like, what the fuck, man? I'm broke. Not only that, my friends ain't even around no more. Why? Because you can't keep up with the Joneses anymore. You can't keep up with the cogs in the machine. So now you got this whole, how many people are educational students now? And I mean elite, the type that will downsize population like Thanos. Look at how many of those people there are now. So hive mind, right, which is the brain, but connected in a way based on information. Remember the code on information, right? So if all of these people have the same type of information along the same lines, you know, different schools teach different types of ways, but primarily have the same constructs at the same time. Come to find out, I've tutored a few people who are in different colleges. So you got a hive mind as a collective conscious now. How long do you think it's going to take them to unite and form Voltron and do what it is with the fuck they need to do, want to do, so on and so forth, at a level that the cogs in the machine just can't play at? Now, no disrespect to you if you know, there's honor in working. You know what I mean? No disrespect to you if you're doing the whole 9 to 5. Some of you work. I got friends who work 16-hour shifts. You know what I mean? They're fixed signs though, so they're okay with that. They're okay working with somebody, even if it's for the rest of their life. Is will they be able to take care of the things that they immediately need to take care of? Fine, then it's fine. And there's even some institutions that are corporate that are, they're like, you know, fuck this whole profit shit. You know what I mean? It's not that important. What's important is, do we have enough liquid cash, money, to keep running our business, and are we happy while doing it? This is the new shit, right? Because well-being is high on the fucking ladder right now. All right? People are not looking at fucking Taylorism anymore. Like, how can we pump the most work out of this fucking cog in the machine that we have? You know what I mean? So no disrespect to you guys, you fixed or in fixed positions. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this. Pisces, get in that position to where you are the distributor. You are the packager of information, and you distribute it. You have the ability to change the world by doing this. Hollywood is doing it. How many times have Hollywood made movies that showed you exactly what's about to fucking happen? Time and time and time and time and time and time again. Pisces, if you're not tapping, how are you not tapping into that element when you are part of the rulership of that element in some type of way? And I mean this through arts, through poetry, through singing, through song, through dance, through all of those type of arts. You should be involved in some type of way. And you'll have different things inside of your chart that will suggest or even strengthen your situation. You know what I mean? Notice how I mentioned Saturn. So yes, these things will take place, will have a significance. Where's your Saturn? Especially when we're dealing about the mystery, right? The unknown parts. Where's your Saturn at in your natal chart so you can understand Capricorn better for reaching that 10th house level? Where's your Uranus at so you can understand better where to reach that 11th house level? Where's your Neptune at, right? You gotta know where your Neptune at. You gotta love it. And what planets are they aspecting so you can understand the strength and sometimes the challenges that are going to come with these mysterious pieces of the puzzle. You understand what I'm talking about? Let's see if I got any more notes. That's pretty much it. So yeah, pass that baton off to the Aries element in your life, which is the second house, and you will see all the material things that you need will come to you because you've worked for it. You've showed your work. You've put it out there. People are buying it. So now you're able to go buy the microphone that you need for a better quality sound. Now you're able to buy the attire, right? Because Pisces might just be like, man, I'll come to the fucking thing naked, man. The fuck, man. Fuck this clothes shit. Fuck this fucking Dolce Gabbana shit. Fuck is wrong with y'all? All right, you start tapping in, and you're like, maybe a Tommy Hilfiger sweater won't be bad. A little chain or something. Put a ring on to match. Might have some appeal to it. You might gravitate some chicks that like that kind of shit, right? They like, oh, he looked like a Libra. Like, look at this motherfucker, right? So you get what I'm saying, right? So yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. It's over an hour now. This should be great information for you to understand what it is that you're here to do, that it's okay to be different. It's even better when you utilize your difference. And people who are not Pisces that are watching this video, I'm not even telling you to give Pisces a pass, because I done seen it, I done heard it. Fuck Pisces. If you still want to continue to carry that attitude, so be it. Pisces, this video is for you. Take what I'm saying and apply it to yourself in some type of way that benefits you. All right? Now, your astrologer, again, when you go read your natal charts, you get these computer-generated reports. They're not going to tell you to look where your Saturn is in your natal chart and how you can find out how that can show you and tell you how to address your career to make your career work. Right? They're just going to tell you Capricorn, Saturn in the 6th house and the sign of Scorpio, blah, 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 blah. It means this, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't tell you the strength of how to apply that because of what house it's in and because of the aspect that it has. It's not going to tell you to look for, do you have any money houses in the 8th house, which suggests high income? Do you have any money any money planets inside of the 2nd house, which may suggest high levels of income? These generated reports are not going to tell you that. They're not. I've checked them myself. They're just not going to tell you. They're not going to look into that much depth for you. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you to seek your north node, Find your north node placement first so you can understand the direction of your life, because the north node is so powerful in your life. Like, it is relentless. So where you may be wanting to do the things that you desire or it makes you feel good and all that, and your north node is somewhere that suggests, no, that's not what we're doing in the bigger scheme of things. I'm going to let you play around a little bit, but I will smack piss out of you to let you know this is which way we're going. So you need to incorporate your plans and your desires as we go this way. Care what your natal chart is telling you. The north node is going this way. So, again, astrologers, your average, not to be at astrologers. Astrologers are great. This is what I'm saying. Astrologers will tell you this, but these computer-generated reports are more of a lackadaisical approach to tell you what your natal chart says. You understand what I'm talking about? You can't call that computer report and say, well, what about this? And ask them questions and shit. You understand what I'm saying? An astrologer is going to have to aid you in doing that. So again, I hope this helps. I'm out of here.